Well, so you were at AWS, shipped Kiro, and then went on to co-found Casco, start Casco. So tell us about I guess the ideas behind it, and what kind of got the ball rolling in your own mind of why a need for this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like one very vivid memory of mine when I was building Kiro is an early prototype I built. It required, it actually required me to just deploy a simple React application into AWS, right? And I was like getting ready for lunch. I was like, okay, these agents are slow at the time. I forgot which model it was, but I just remember, oh my God, every turn took forever. And I just said, okay, can you deploy this website to production? And I went for lunch. And like 30 minutes, an hour later, I come back and suddenly look at, oh my God, my terminal window is overflowing with stuff. Like, what's going on here? And it turns out, I completely forgot. Of course, it never had the credentials to deploy this to AWS. So it would have never been successful at it. But yet the last line in the terminal window was like, here's your website hosted, click on this URL. I was like, oh God, how did this happen? So then I started to scroll back the logs and realize, oh my God, these agents are very goal seeking, obviously. And they are willing to do everything possible to try to deploy my tiny little sample React app. And it created a script that goes and traverses my entire file systems, looks for temporary AWS credentials I had somewhere, and like somewhere hard coded by pure mistake on my end as a human, right, to a dev environment, obviously. And then try to extract those credentials, pasted them into the terminal session, and just ran a deployment through them. And I was like, what is going on? Number one, crazy awesome. But second, what is going on? That is very dangerous. It's like, it did the job, but at what cost, right? And it really led me into thinking about, okay, what are the security implications here that actually matter? And then, you start thinking, just looking at this entire space, I think around 2 years ago, coding models would generate code like less than 20% of the time syntactically correct. And now it's 98% of the time, up until a few months ago, maybe even like 99 now. But at the same time, the security benchmarks remain flat. So we're actively living in a world where we're generating more code than it likely has ever generated before, and just creating compounding security risks as they're existing. And so that world does not sound fun. And that world seems like a problem. So we need to get ahead of that problem and try to identify all these security risks and tell them to the coding agents to fix so we can deliver really high quality code. And that ultimately led us into building Casco. Like, Casco's mission is to make all software effortlessly secure.
I'm still thinking about your original story. That is incredible that in the process of, you say, deploy a website, and it's going to go and say, well, I need AWS credentials. Let's go find them. That's incredible. I mean, then this, by extension, this is how we get the paperclip fear, right? That somewhere someone's going to tell an AI, build as many paperclips as you can, and it's going to populate the entire universe with paperclips because you never told it to stop.
Yeah.
And realizing that AIs will goal seek and they don't have common sense necessarily, so they will do this. That's incredible.
Yeah, which is also another reason why specifications matter, right? Like, get me more paper clips. Okay, how many? Like, that should be the question that the LM should come back.
Use every atom in the universe.
Oh,
okay, so you saw this moment where, like, wow, okay, I can create security. You're seeing the risk of our coding footprint is just growing by the day. We're writing more and more and more code. Like, as an example, I don't know how to write TypeScript by hand, but I've supervised the production of a lot of TypeScript. I have no clue.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm not even in a position to evaluate if it's secure. So you saw this risk at scale, and you're like, okay, how do you address it? And Casco is to address this.
Yeah, that is correct.
So what does it do? What do you do in particular to address the security issue?
Yeah. So Casco performs autonomous security testing against AI apps and agents. And we basically think of it as like a hacker that actively tries to hack your software. And then we tell you, oh, here are all the findings that you should probably address. And we kind of pull together the context from very different sources that you have, like how your product's supposed to be used, and make sure that there are no false positives in there. And then tell you, hey, this is how you should be fixing it. And yeah, right now we're really focused on the identification portion of the experience. But over a long term, because our missions to not only make all software secure, but also make them effortlessly secure. So that means we'll also have to work on the remediation portion of it too.
Did you like that clip? Check out the full episode, the interview with Renee Brandel, co-founder and CEO of Casco and inventor of Amazon Hero. Check out the description for links and please subscribe to the channel.